change. So if we down here to say that they do not really have any punishment, much more just like someone who kidnapped another person, I don't think it's going to. I just want them to know the implications of.
Yes. I actually, in express statement,
Okay.
they have punishment.
Okay.
I want to correct the impression.
So, would they be reminded in prison? Is there any? Yeah, would they be reminded in prison? If
Punishment is punishment.
Could be social, communal activities or something like that.
Yes, punishment is punishment, but what matters is the magnitude of that punishment, the extent of that punishment. You are involved in a crime. You are involved in a crime. But when we talk about, when we are talking law, the law does not respect sentiment, does not respect having good sense of moral. When you are talking the law, so talking the law as it is with respect to kidnapping, in as much as the law has not made specific provision on one who fakes his own kidnapping, you cannot still bring the person. They cannot charge the person as such. But what we are saying is that the law has made provision for things like deceit and fraud, section 419 of the criminal code. And we are saying that one who commits such offense against himself can be charged under those relevant laws and still be punished accordingly.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. I think really
yes.
much on that.
Yes.
Now we want to look at another story that coming from the PDP and APC.
Oh, very well.
Disagree over unemployment rate.
Very well. I'm interested.
Now, all right. I hope you really get it. The governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party for the March 18, 2023 elections in Ebonyi State, Dr. Ifeanyi Odi, has decried the increasing rate of poverty, hunger, and unemployment in the state. This was as he urged party faithful to work together for the development of the state. Other than that, for me, I am always intentional with making progress in life. In like manner, let me particularly remind us that we must therefore forge ahead. And in forging ahead, I believe that it is important for us to remain resolute, united, and focused on our shared goals and aspirations of a prosperous Ebonyi state, he said. Odi stated these while addressing party members during a one-day stakeholders meeting in Isu community in the Onyocha local government area of Ebonyi State on Thursday. Now, according to him, the resolve of the party leadership stay united would help it fight injustice, will help it fight corruption, sycophancy, and greed in the state. He said, particularly, I am deeply concerned about the all-time rising rate of poverty, unemployment, and hunger in the state. Lack of access to potable water, the non-existence of viable industries in the state, declining standard of education, lack of access to health care service delivery, poor state and the ease of the businesses, and the disturbing human development indices of the state, among other critical issues of grave concern. To this end, he said, I therefore urge each and every one of you to remain engaged, steadfast, and involved in our collective resolve to create something new and extraordinary for our people, he said. Become more inspired by your usual genuine love for our people, and always know that your voices and your actions matter. And together, he said, we can make a difference. Now, reacting, the All Progressive Congress in the state described the PDP's position as baseless. Other than that, the party was focused and committed to the well-being of its residents. The party's publicity secretary, Simbad Obwatu, said everybody in the state can testify of the fact that the current Ebonyi state under Governor Francis Wifuru is focused, committed, and genuinely driven to better the loss of the masses. And he said, are you talking about youth? Are you talking about the civil servant? Just name it. This government or administration is focused and determined to change the story of Ebonyi people for the better. Therefore, we will resist anybody who comes out to blackmail this government within the ambit of the law, because Nigeria as a country now is challenged. The current government under the APC has done a lot and is doing so much to put smiles on the faces of Ebonians. The current APC government in the state has done so much, which is being commended by many opposition elements in the state. The government is doing a lot to make sure there is no hunger and unemployment in this place, at least to bring these challenges to the barest minimum. Now, did you listen to that?
Very well.
You really follow this?
Yes, I'm interested.
This is the APC, this is PDP.
Yes.
Now, there is a disagreement. They are talking about the state of the economy. There is hunger, there is unemployment, and the reaction the APC the APC, is one of the APC members said no. He countered what he said, that it is not true, and we know what is true. Not just in Ebonyi State, of course, because nobody will say that it is well for them right now, economically speaking, right? So now they disagree. Do you think? What can you say? What's your reaction on both? What's your reaction on this disagreement?
Yes, I guess.
I think it's like a child's play. We know what governance is all about. We know what politics is all about.
Yes.
We know what democracy is all about.
Exactly.
It's, just for the interests of the masses and helping our people. But now there is an disagreement. Do you think it can really go a long way in helping Ebonians yet?
Well, I believe my reaction may not shock you.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I've seen 99, so if I see 100, it doesn't matter. So,
I disagree with both of them.
okay.
That's why I say it may not shock you.
So what's your reaction?
Good.
What can you say about it?
Yes. Having listened to both the chieftain and that of the APC, you discover that they are not. The PDP is actually not talking with the intent that he has the love for the people, or he is feeling the pain of the people. He is not talking with that intent. The APC is also not talking with the intent. Even his inner mind bears in witness that he is not saying the truth. You know, in this part of the world, they see the people to be docile and taking advantage of the docility of the people. Now, why I said I do not agree with both of them is this. If peradventure you now brings the PDP chieftain to APC now, and now that if there is a swap now, tentatively they say, okay, there is now a swap, and the PDP chieftain is now in APC, and the APC person is now in PDP. You now see that the PDP chieftain will start talking like this APC, while this APC will start talking like that of the PDP. So everything gears towards their political ambition. They are trying to impress the people, not that they have the people in the, at the back of their mind. That is why I say I pray that my reaction may not shock you, because I will disagree with both of them, because the real thing is when you are talking with the intent that you are feeling the pain of the people. The position of the PDP chieftain may look very beautiful, but it is not with a clear intent that he's actually feeling the people. He's only drawing sympathy. Maybe peradventure the next election they will say, this party did not do well, let us now go for PDP. And when he comes to that position, the APC person will start talking like him again. So they are actually using the people for taking advantage of the people. The real thing we are looking for, we are looking at for those who will actually say a thing and mean it. Even though they are on the other side, they can be able to publicly come and say, things are not going very well. Not because you are here, you are speaking in favor. You are just trying to please maybe the political godfather who is up there, saying, didn't you hear what these people say? Can't you go and counter that thing? So things of that nature, I think Nigeria, we should overgrow that level. When we are talking about governance, governance should be a thing of everybody, not trying to take side because of party. In Nigeria, they still play politics even in the face of governance. Politics will come, and when INEC declares politics open, everybody plays, but when it is time for governance, everybody should be speaking one voice so that the country can move forward. The position of the country actually is not something anyone can actually deny the fact that there are some things that are actually has not been kept in place, which it is the prayer of every nation that when things are rough, it should come to be right. So it is not when you are not in the ruling party, for example, instead of you to actually proffer solution where the country will go forward, even though your party failed, so that at the end of that, you can still come back to the game. You now amplify anything you see to be a wrong. Me, I'm of the school of thought that people should actually do the right thing despite where you belong before the face of governance. So even though you were in party A and party B wins you, one, you should not amplify anything that is wrong in that government with the intent to gain the people during another political dispensation. No, rather proffer solution, contribute to the national building or nation building in a way and manner that the citizens will actually have a good benefit. That is my own position. That's why I say both of them, I don't believe they are talking with the intent of the next political. We are looking for a people that will come and stand firm that this is what we need to do for the country to move forward. Nigeria is tired of every political dispensation. They will come and they influence one thing or the other, and at the end of the day, people will be suffering. No. So we need the right thing to be done. Even this government, it is our prayer that the government succeeds so that the people will stop suffering. The position.
Now, this disagreement between the both of them, both the APC and the PDP, what do you think is the effect on the subject? Do you think it's going to affect them?
What should be the...
Yeah, the effect. What's the effect?
Okay, the effect. Well, the effect is that they still, because everything borders on the citizens. Exactly. The one that spoke at the level of the APC is also trying to convince the citizen. The PDP chieftain is trying to tell the citizens, see, this party is not doing well. See, I will be the one that will do well either in 2027, indirectly. So now the effect is still on the people. It will still, it makes the people to actually, in fact, it throws the people into confusion. If you believe me, it throws the people into a state of confusion. Because you don't, at a point, you don't even know whether you have to believe the PDP chieftain or you have to believe the APC, who actually is saying that things are going well. Why maybe the person don't have food in the house. So all this is so.
Well, now, in this case, who do you think that the masses will believe more? Do you think they are going to look?
I must be very sincere. I must be very sincere.
Okay.
In this case, they may tend to believe the PDP chieftain. They may tend to believe the PDP chieftain. The reason is that due to maybe one or two things which actually is not also strange to every nation, and they are trying to bring it up. Maybe one or two things actually has not been properly kept. In fact, maybe Nigeria has not actually recovered from the subsidy problem fully. So they are on the way to recovery, let's say that. So now, because of what people are experiencing at the extant time, they may hail the PDP. But my worry is that if the PDP comes to power tomorrow and the same thing is repeating, the same PDP person will not say this thing. And that is where I have problem with those who actually said they are for the people. Whereas internally they are not for the people. So we are looking out for those whom, even when they are on the other side, they can be able to say no. This needs to be changed because I know it is not working, but hold on, we are trying to make it work. Not to say that it is working when you know that actually it's not, because your party is the one ruling. So things of that nature is what I'm against. So, but with the state of the country now, they tend to believe the PDP, but we all believe that Nigeria is on a phase and they will actually land well. That's what I believe.
Well, whatever I know, well, whatever you believe, I just believe that politics in Nigeria is just a game of interest. That's what they do. So you have to speak in order to curry maybe love from the masses, from the citizens, in case of subsequent electioneering, maybe you want to assume the position again, and that's why they speak. But however, I think politics should be for the interest of the masses. It should be for the interest of the masses. Now, considering the economy of Nigeria, they have to really play that game towards, favoring the masses, so that, we can also breathe, both the poor masses, we can breathe, because now I think a majority of the people in Nigeria now, we are actually suffering. So if someone say that everything is okay, because we've not heard that people are better off compared to other states. Well, let's move on to another story.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, coming from the FCT,
Yeah.
men of the Federal Capital Territory Police Command have arrested an official of Abuja Electricity Distribution Company and 5 other suspects for vandalizing and stealing a transformer. This was made known in a statement by the FCT Police Public Relations Officer SP Josephine Ade on the command's S-handle on Friday. FCT Police arrest a EDC official, 5 others for transformer thefts, the statement read. The operatives of the FCT Police Command on April 11, 2024 at about 10:45 p.m. acting on incredible intelligence drilled and arrested 6 suspects, namely Kabiru Mohammed, Aliyu Usman, Abdul Malik, Abdul Hassan, and Shaif Suleiman Ibrahim, and Raymond Meibali, who is an AEDC staff member, all males of Tipa Garage, Mpape, Abuja, for vandalizing and stealing a transformer. As you can see there, the suspects were trying to escape with an already vandalized transformer they had loaded on a crane truck in Maitama when police operatives swooped in and apprehended them. The vandalized transformer, a crane truck, a blue Mercedes-Benz with number plate PKN 497XA, a white J Abbas with number plate RBC 228XC, and an Ash Peugeot 406 car with a number plate GSN 13AA belonging to the AEDC staff member were all recovered. Then I hope you can see that
Yes.
they're involved in
Yeah.
I just need your reaction on that.
Wow.
What can you say? I know you've listened to the story.
Yes, I have. I have.
These are the officials, and they are meant to protect, they are meant to guard, they are meant to make sure that the people have lights. They are officials, they are paid for their jobs.
Other than going to vandalize.
Exactly, and they were caught.
Well,
what's your take?
My take is that first of all, we commend the police operatives. Yes, we highly commend them in that this is what is happening across the nations. Because you wonder why government facilities do not last long. Anywhere you see a facility belonging to the government, before you realize it, it is no more there. And that is the reason why every government of the day keeps repeating the same thing that their predecessor did. Because people are in the habit of vandalizing government property. Now, in this case, these people are the staff. They are the persons that has the responsibility or have the responsibility to ensure that that transformer is in a good working condition. Now, they are the same person that has gone to loot it. It shows that in every crime, successful crime, it means there are insiders, particularly those who are working in that establishment or those who actually have direct access to actually move and also retain that particular property. So my appreciation goes to the Nigerian police, and we are saying that if the Nigerian police will work and continue working in that manner, I think it will go far to stop most of the crime. Because most of the crime we are suffering today are not actually committed by strangers. They are committed within the establishment. Either they masterminded by giving information, or they actually did it themselves in an hour where no one could see them. Assuming they were not caught, the information would have been that the transformer was stolen, and the next day they will still come to work, and maybe they will even be the one to write report. So I actually commend the police, and I know that the Inspector General of Police is doing well, and every other state should also follow suit. The Commissioner of Police, they should follow suit, not looking in, knowing that the crime they are trying to fight is not only maybe they are looking for the people out there. It could be within the establishment or the people that are in charge. So they should look towards that angle anytime they are investigating issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And what do you think should be the punishment of those people because they are officials? What do you think? I just want to look at it legally.
Yes, the question is very simple.
Okay. So what should be the punishment?
The law says that if you steal, you'll be punished accordingly.
Okay.
There is no, you remember, you know my position. There is no, they will not go and make another law trying to say if you are a staff and you know that punishment that is prescribed for one who has done such acts is what they're also going to face. It's as simple as that. So they'll be punished according to law. It's as simple as that.
All right.
All right.
Well, let's take it from there. I want to go embark on a very short break. When we come back, we're going to look at some stories coming from there, so just stay tuned.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
right, we're glad to have you back on Atlantic Television Network, and the program is Atn Saturday. Okay, let's look at other stories. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, Usman Danfodio University Secretary chapter on Friday urged the federal government to reconstitute the governing council of its universities. In a statement signed by Professor Nuruddin Al-Mustafa and Mr. Shaibu Sadiku, Chairman and Secretary respectively, the chapter appealed to President Bola Tinubu to consider the appeal. This step is crucial for universities to operate legally and smoothly in accordance with the law. It will also uphold the autonomy and independence of universities by following established procedures and safeguarding their integrity, the statement said. The union also called on the Ministry of Education to investigate all violations of the law in recent actions taken by various universities and the absence of the councils. It observed that the dissolution of all the federal university governing councils in June 2023 by the National Universities Commission (NUC) undermined the established procedures and the autonomy of the institutions. The ASU-UD further noted the unauthorized advertising of vacancies for the offices of the vice chancellors and other principal officers in the federal universities. The action violates proper procedures and threatens the integrity and academic freedom of Nigeria's public universities. The composition, roles and dissolution procedures of university governing councils and prescribe the protocol in the event of council's absence, particularly regarding the appointment of principal officers. At no point does the law transfer the council's functions to the minister or the visitor. Thus, these actions undermine the principles of transparency, equity and merit-based selection of university principal officers, is said. Now, I hope you got the story.
Yeah.
What do you think could be at the back of their mind? What do you think could be the reason of trying to, form another council?
If you look at that story, they are talking about reconstituting the council.
Yes.
And I think that
I'm trying to look at it on the interests of the students, the unions. Do you think it's really going to go a long way in helping them out?
yes, it will help them, but it will not deter anything.
Okay.
Yes, there should always be a change.
Okay.
A particular set or group of persons cannot be the governing council in perpetuity.
Okay.
I think it should be a thing that you have duration, after which another set will come. Nobody knows it all. When you think you are doing well, there is yet someone there who may do better. It gives everybody opportunity to feature and showcase what he has for the people. Until somebody comes on stage, you don't know what he carries, don't know his potential. So I think that it is a welcome development, what they are asking. To my mind, I think there should be need if the existing ones have stayed for too long. That should be need. I think.
Okay, like there should be a change.
There
There
should
should be. They have to reconsider. What if the tenure has not ended? It has not elapsed, and they are not trying to reconstitute another one. Do you think it's going to really cause a lot of issues in the body union and the students?
Yes, it will cause issue because it becomes unlawful.
Okay.
You know, I'm a candidate and a student and advocate of what is right. It becomes unlawful if their tenure has not ended. And even though they have actually concluded their tenure and they are given another opportunity to serve, that another opportunity given to them, the tenure must still elapse. Then why, upon the expiration, they can bring another people on board and it will not deter anything.
Okay, it will not have any
It will not have
any
effect.
Any effect on
at all.
both the unions and the students in the academic
At all,
performance.
in as much as they do it according to law.
Yeah, because if they don't do it in accordance with how it should go,
yes,
it's going to.
It will cause trouble.
Yes, there's going to be.
The other people can even go to court to challenge their removal, because it must be according to the time prescribed that such tenure elapse, where they have opportunity to go again, and if they grant them that opportunity, you wait until the end. Then, but I'm saying that it is not good to use a particular group or phase of persons in continually. No, that is good. They make changes.
All right, let's take up the stories coming from the Anambra State Police Command. Said it has recovered the 3 remaining bodies of the victims of a boat accident that occurred on Wednesday along the coastline of the River Niger. This was as the command urged all water commuters to be safety conscious and avoid behavior that may jeopardize their safety and that of others while on transit on water. This was disclosed in a press statement by the State Police spokesman, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, on Friday. On April 10th, a popular Nollywood actor, Junior Pope, and 4 others were confirmed dead in the boat tragedy. Both one of 2 that conveyed a movie crew to a film location in Anambra West local government area of the state was returning to its takeoff point in Asaba, Delta State, when the unfortunate accident occurred. This prompted the Actors Guild of Nigeria to bar its actors from all film productions involving riverine areas and boat rides. Ikenga said the Marine Police of the Anambra State Command recovered the bodies of the 3 remaining victims of the unfortunate boat accident late on Thursday. It said that 2 of the bodies were recovered on Thursday, April 11, 2024, while the last was washed in by the tides this morning. All the bodies have been deposited in hospital mortuary in Asaba. While the president of the Guild of Actors and Actresses has been notified of the recovery, the CP promised an expedited investigation into the sad accident that claimed the lives of 5 actors. He also commended the command's Marine unit and its commander for dedication to duty. I know you followed up.
Yes, very well.
There's quite unfortunate incident that took the lives of 5 actors recently.
Yes.
While they were on a movie set. Yeah, like they were returning back from their production.
Yes.
Now, before we go into they said the police have recovered more bodies, but let's look at it in its entirety and the totality of the circumstances surrounding the whole incident that happened that took the lives of these people. I think I just happened to discuss about this, why it came up, because more bodies were recovered.
Yes.
Now, let's look at it, what really happened. This happened on the 10th of April 2024. You are aware of this happening, right?
Yes.
What can you say about it? Because a lot of reactions, a lot of people have said a lot of things concerning their movement. First of all, they said they were, or they couldn't put on the life jacket, and some of them said they were so careless, and it made them to, just die carelessly like that. What can you? I just want you to say something on that. I just wanted to react based on really the circumstances surrounding their death. First of all, before the recovering of the remaining bodies.
Thank you very much. Generally, their death was planked on negligence.
Okay, negligence.
Yes. We were analyzing it somewhere, and a colleague of mine was talking about contributory negligence. I said that is total negligence. In negligence, you look at what you can foresee. It is foreseeable that driving in a boat in a sea without the flagrant neglect of putting on their life jacket in that boat, no matter how rough they were driving, is the primary cause of their death. Assuming they had life jacket, if there will be casualty, maybe 1, if at all. There may not have been any, because they may be rescued. So both the boat driver the actors, they actually did not take diligent precaution.
Now you said, so are you, what we're going to say is, are we going to allot it to the victims or to the producer? Because we heard that there was a controversy that that it sued after, but no, when they were when they were trying to use a boat, and they said, who is going to pay for the life jacket? Is it the producer? They said no. The producer said no, and she cannot pay jacket. But I believe that there are other people there, both the security agencies, the riverine security agencies, the marine workers, the marine security agencies, who were supposed to look into the matter, you know, because you cannot. These are humans, like you said. It's negligence, of course, because if you don't take care of, it's so careless. They were so careless about their lives. But at the same time, are we going to hold the marine security agencies, are we going to hold them responsible for all of these?
Well, they are dead. They don't have any responsibility.
No, I mean the marine security agencies. Those security agencies who ensure that you know, you have to do the right thing before you enter the boat. They have
questions to answer.
Okay.
In that, if they are charged with that responsibility, nothing stops them from saying, if you don't have it, you won't enter. So it is not their business how they procure the money to get a life jacket. And automatically, if they see that without the life jacket, they cannot proceed, they will definitely source for funds and get the life jacket. Now, just as the name implies, life jacket is to save the life that will make money. And without life jacket, life is gone, and the money cannot be made anymore. So in fact, it's a serious lesson to the living. It's a serious lesson to the living, in that too many has gone in trying to save money, while money is there to actually solve a problem. Getting a life jacket was a problem, no matter how they debated it. But they all have the money to actually procure that life jacket, but they felt it was not for that purpose, not knowing that using it is to save the life that will make more money.
So we're going to apportion blames to, or anyway, the Bible say that
the dead has nothing. It has nothing. It's the security. Yes, the security personnel now who are living should actually know that it should not happen again.
Now, and imagine 4 more persons died, and they were able to recover their bodies. And I think this is a very careless situation, because
I agree with
avoidable. Their death could have been prevented.
Avoidable death, yes.
This is avoidable death because wow, if they were able to get the life jacket, like if I am the, let me just say, they need to do investigation. But during the investigation, they have to also question those marine workers. Why? Because there should be a law. Exactly. The law that will enforce, they should implement a law that you cannot go on the boat if you do not know how to swim, whether you know how to swim or not. You should put on a life jacket. So those people, they have questions to answer, and if they are found culpable, they should be punished. They should be brought to they are supposed to face the full wrath of the law, because that's not what it should be. But there were a lot of things people said during that period. They said the Pope, because he was the first person they heard, he died.
Okay.
You know, when he made the video. Now let's digress a little bit.
Okay.
Let's look at it spiritually speaking. All of us are all prophets of our own. We are all prophets of our own.
All right.
And when the spirit being talked to you, like he was making the live video.
Okay.
Did you watch the video? Did you actually watch the video when he was shouting, he's the only son of
Okay, yeah. That when they were cruising.
Yes, they're not really. He was on motion. He was really on motion. And he said, I'm the only son of my parents. I only have 3 children. Who is going to take care of it? Slow down. You know. So, you know, the spirit being is already talking to him. Alerting him of the danger.
The danger.
But you know one thing? He didn't listen to his inner being. That's why a lot of people, they always want people to prophesy to them. But we are own prophets. Sometimes that tiny voice, that inner person, that our inner conscience will speak to us first before something happens. If something tells you, okay, do not go, you know, it's already, there's a danger there. It could be that's a way that God wants to preserve you. And this is a guy full of destiny. This is a guy is in the entertainment world.
Yes, yes.
You know, and then first of all, his inner mind spoke to him, but he ignored that. I know you're a spiritual. I know you're a Christian. Not just a Christian. You also have an oil on your head. I can see.
Actually,
what can you say about this?
Actually, I agree with you. You know, nothing happens without God revealing to us.
Okay.
But the problem is our ability to actually know that it's God talking.
Oh, really?
Yes, that is just the problem of man. God tells man everything. You know, that is why Abraham said, God said he will not do anything without telling his friend Abraham. So now, that being on one side, think when they actually crossed, that would have been when they would have actually advised themselves the more. And no matter what, maybe try and get a life jacket over there to help and cross them if there is one over. You know, or take special precaution in course of their moving, because now you have an information, but they treated it as if there was no information.
It was trivialized.
Exactly.
And then because you know, most people lack what we call discernment.
Spirit of discernment.
Yeah, spirit of discernment, and then also perception.
Yes.
Now, some people would want you to state it categorically, clear, blue, black and white, and say, don't go, there is danger. But we have, all of us, we have natural instinct.
I agree with
you know, instinct. Some of us, our instinct will tell us, do not go, there is a danger. There is danger here, there is danger. But some of us, when we ignore that, you know, we get hooked. So I think this is going to really serve as a big lesson.
I think so.
You know, it's quite, it's painful. It's really painful, you know.
And the advice to the general public is that whenever your body tells you something or you have a feeling, you should respect that feeling first.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Automatically go in prayer.
Intuition.
Yes.
Yeah, you talk about this intuition right now.
Yes.
Because once your intuition tells you that something is wrong somewhere,
exactly,
it must be true that something is wrong.
And you pause.
Yes. That sometimes you can just go out while you're drinking with your friends on a table, on a round table, you know, or maybe colleagues. You do not know that, no, this person do not like you, but they pretend to be your friends.
Exactly.
And they want to poison you. Once you leave your drink and you go out, intuition will tell you,
no, don't take this drink.
Yeah, don't take this drink anymore, because if you take this drink, something will
may
come
happen.
up. You may die. And some persons would like, I'm a very strong person.
Oh, these are my friends, so why would
they're my friends and nothing. And you just take it like that, and you think. So once your intuition tells you something, I think it is hard time for us to be listening to our spirit being. You know, I remember.
And be conscious.
Yes, I'm be conscious of that. You may enter a vehicle, right? I remember when I was traveling, I was going through land. I boarded this a boss, I don't want to mention the company's name.
Yes.
So, you know, I wanted to enter there because I'm always very conscious, spiritually speaking.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very conscious. So I wanted to enter the bus, but something in me said, don't enter this bus. I said, God, what is it? Inside of me, I was struggling. Why? Because I should enter. But something said, no, don't enter. Go late. Don't worry, go late. And it's a very long journey from Abuja to Port Harcourt here.
Yeah.
But do you know one thing? Just 2 hours, barely 2 hours, we still met the same car on the road, had an accident.
That is it.
You know, so that was intuition. I use it when I was, talking to some of my friends and colleagues.
Yeah.
You failed to listen to your intuition. You failed to listen to your own spirit being.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You will say something when you sense danger. As a matter of fact, I'm talking to the masses. I'm talking to everyone. I'm talking to myself as well.
Yes.
Once you just anyone.
Exactly.
It can happen to anyone.
If you fail to listen to yourself when yourself is talking to you.
Carefulness, they say, is longevity.
It's longevity. Yes.
That thing they said is true. Because
Yes.
once you're careful with your life, like, yes, no.
I remember a man of 80-something years was giving testimony. Somebody said he don't know how many bullets he has dodged. He was giving testimony, or maybe birthday testimony, and one said he don't know how many bullets he has dodged. It just goes down to support what you are saying, that carefulness is longevity. Yes, often me, I do use that a lot. So once you perceive a thing, it does not matter how important is that thing.
Okay.
You must actually, first of all, address it within yourself. If it is prayer, anything you know you could. If it is the one you can avoid, you just allow it. Maybe later you know why God actually revealed that to you. So it's a lesson to the masses that whenever your spirit or your instinct is telling you something, try listen to yourself. And also, before you take any step, no matter how luxurious, how you felt, you can enjoy yourself. First of all, seek the face of God and actually tell God to be the captain. Yes.
Yeah, you need to seek God in prayers,
Yes.
and because this can actually happen to just, it could happen to our relatives that they are not related to us. Doesn't mean
Exactly.
that we are not feeling the pain.
Yes.
You know, we do not know who is next. That's
Exactly.
the question. We
Exactly.
do not know who is next. You know, in as much as we communicate with our heavenly Creator every single day,
Exactly.
nobody knows, you know, who is next. You know, but once we are careful with our lives, I think there will be preservation.
Exactly.
Once you very, very extremely careful with what you eat, where you go, seek the face of God before you embark on anything, there won't be this heavy this death, you know. And you know, do you know that the woman at the Adama production is banned? She is banned from production.
Yes.
For now, in fact, it's been so you know, headlocks and all of that, and they said the body has to be buried alongside the water and all of
everything
that.
out
But
there.
recently they said the body has been moved to Enugu. Well, that's for that story. More bodies have been recovered. We want to really send our sincere condolences to the family of the deceased. It's an unforeseen occurrence. That's what the Bible says. The Bible says that unforeseen occurrences will always happen to mankind. But once we are very careful, we are going to live out. All right, let's take another look. Remember, this is Atn Saturday. In case you're tuning in, it's Atn Saturday. Now, let's look at more stories. Former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has met the bail conditions imposed on him by Justice Rahman Oshodi of the Lagos State Special Offences Court in Ikeja and subsequently released. Emefiele met the bail terms before the court closed on Friday, and he was released after the court proceedings. Justice Oshodi had granted Emefiele, who is standing trial before him over allegations of abuse of office and fraud, $4.5 billion and 2.8 billion naira bail with 2 sureties and like some. The judge also directed that the sureties must be gainfully employed and have paid tax to the Lagos State government in the last 3 years. The court further directed that the sureties must show proper identification and they must be registered on the Lagos State Bail Management System. Emefiele's co-defendant Henry Isioma Omole was also granted bail by the court. Isioma Omoile is to continue to enjoy the conditions of the 1 million naira bail earlier granted to him by Justice Olufunke Sule Hamzat of Lagos State High Court, sitting in Yaba area of the state. Justice Oshodi, however, ordered that the bail documents must be transferred to the Special Offences Court and that they must also be registered in the Lagos State Bail Management System. The defendants were accused of accepting gratification, accepting gifts through agents, corruption, and fraudulent property receipts. He was also accused of conferring corrupt advantage on his associates, contrary to the Corrupt Practices Act of 2000 in the charge filed on April 3rd by the EFCC prosecutor, Rotimi Oyedepo-San. This is talking about Emefiele. The court has granted him bail. And of course, a lot of people were saying it had political undertone because while he was there, while they were prosecuting him, there were fresh charges against him. and it was 26 count charge on him. So now the court has granted him bail. Yesterday we saw it to be 50 million naira bail, and yes, 50 million naira bail. Emefiele granted 50 million. It's been on the banner headlines, but today they said he's been granted. He has regained his freedom because he has met with the bail conditions. Do you agree with the people who were saying that these had political undertone, because most of them are like trying to drag it? While he was there, they were not giving him an opportunity to really speak out, and they keep bringing fresh charges against him, amounting to 26 and all of that. Do you agree with such people, or what can you say about this? This is law now. We're talking about the judiciary, which you fall into the system.
That is whether I agree.
Me, I am not a lawyer. I'm just a journalist. I am just a media practitioner. So I'm trying to look at it. How do you think it has political undertone?
All right. Yes, I got you right. That they say it has a political undertone. Haven't accepted to admit into bail now. With that, the acceptance of admitting him to bail at this extant time suggests that it has a political undertone. That is the position. That's what you're saying. Do I agree with that? Good. Well, in as much as it could have a political undertone, but the truth remains that whether political undertone or not, we are talking of law. The law is clear that he is entitled to bail by the provisions of our Constitution under Section 36. The defendant, or what they call the accused person before now, is presumed innocent. It is as if you have not committed the only offense until you are proved what? Guilty. So the bail he was granted is his right. The insinuation that having admitted him to bail has a political undertone is neither here nor there, in that it is not correct that he will be in detention in perpetuity or forever. And bail is what is arguable by both counsel. So if at a point where they've concluded the argument on the bail and the court grants bail, I think he's entitled to it under the Constitution, as I have cited earlier. So he's entitled to bail. That is the law.
So that means it's a bailable offense now?
Yes, he can be committed. The Constitution is saying, let me buttress. Okay. The Constitution is saying that from the point where you are being arraigned for a particular offense, you are presumed not to have done that offense until the other party proves your guilt. And as a defendant, it may, I know you must be abreast with it, that you as a defendant or the accused person, you don't have any duty in proving your innocence. It's the other party that will have to show through cogent evidence that you actually did that act. So the prosecution will succeed on the strength of his case. And so relying on that presumption, you as a defendant, if you are granted bail, the only duty you owe is to ensure that you attend court without fail. And where you don't, then your bail can be cancelled and a bench warrant may be granted. They will not bring you back because you have already betrayed that trust that you will always attend court. And where they don't see you, then your surety will be held responsible for show cause. That is the danger in being a surety. So when you are you want to shorty a person, you should be very sure that he's someone that will not abscond. But in as much as the person is coming to court, the shorty don't have any problem. And in as much as you are coming to court, you cannot be rearrested again, except you commit another fresh offense for another thing. But for that offense, you cannot be rearrested until your matter is concluded.
That means it's channeled towards criminal offense. This is criminal.
Yeah, of course.
It's criminal offense.
It's
right?
criminal. Talking about fraud, embezzlement, and all those things.
That's criminal.
It's criminal lawyer.
Okay, so but not all criminal offenses are bailable, right?
There is no offense that is not bailable. Even murder cases are bailable. Yes, even murder cases are bailable. What varies is the terms of the bail.
Or manslaughter.
With that, once you shift from murder, what we are saying is that you are talking about bail. The Constitution did not actually any offense that cannot be bail, that one cannot be admitted to bail, because the provision of the Constitution is very clear that every accused person is presumed innocent, but based on the gravity of the offense, determine how the bail condition will be so strict. Oftentimes, it might not even be the pronounced admitted. He wouldn't have been released, allowed to go, even though the judge has pronounced it. So you must actually meet that bail condition. If the law says he's a civil servant, he must be a civil servant. So whatever maybe brings the doctor's report or whatever, the court will actually not issue.
And what if he didn't bring any document to show that he is sick or he was sick during that?
It means he has absconded. It's as simple as that.
What about the lawyer? But the lawyer is there to speak for him.
Yes, it depends on the circumstance of the case. If the lawyer comes and say, "Sorry, my client is sick," not even called. I'm aware my client is sick. All the judge will do is, okay, if he's sick, you can take a date. At the next adjourned date, you can make available the document showing actually, because it's just offense is a serious offense. The judge can oblige. But where that continues to happen, after the judgment, the person goes back to jail. The person goes back. In fact, the person will not be properly jailed and start serving his jail time. So the bail only is just a temporary freedom subject to when the matter will end. And when the matter ends, that determines whether you have permanent freedom or the person will go back to where he's coming from.
All right. Well, having said that, let's look at the stories of Bobrisky. Aisha Yusufu, a popular social activist, has blamed popular crossdresser Bobrisky for pleading guilty to the count of naira mutilation. On Friday, Justice Abimbola Awoboro handed down a 6-month sentence without the option of a fine. The controversial celebrity has been in the custody of the EFCC, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, since his arrest last week. EFCC had arrested and prosecuted Bobrisky for naira mutilation. Bobrisky had earlier, on April 5, pleaded guilty to the 4-count charge of naira abuse brought against him by the anti-graft agency. Who advised him to plead guilty? Aisha queries in a write-up on his ex-handle. How does spraying of money equate to mutilating money? If it is a crime, why is it selectively used? Yes, I would have. Worst case scenario, I would ask him to plead no contest. Anything else, or lawyer. If spraying money is mutilation, what is politicians throwing money at people? He's offended. If Bobrisky, he said, has crimes that he has committed, prosecute him on those and not these. And he pleaded guilty, of course, when he was being arraigned in the court, and they said he was spraying naira, abusing naira mutilation, and he's pleaded guilty. Now, Aisha said, who asked you, Bobrisky? He came up openly because he has been sentenced now to 6 months in prison. And Aisha now came up and said, who asked you to plead? Brought it before the court. he, Bobrisky, admitted to the guilt and said he did the crime. That ignorance of the law doesn't make you to be, doesn't excuse you from the punishment. Are you getting my point?
I
now?
do.
But you are a lawyer, and I'm here sitting there. Aisha is even saying, at the point, I have a friend of mine who said, it's true. Why will he, Bobrisky, plead guilty? If you plead guilty, definitely you're going to be convicted, whether you did it or not. Who is a lawyer? And the same thing, Aisha is also saying the same thing. So what can you say about this?
What I have to say is that, everything has procedure.
Okay.
If you enter into a contract without a lawyer, the consequence will be more dear than what you would have ordinarily paid a lawyer. The position is that if he has a lawyer, he should be allowed to have access to his lawyer, where his lawyer will actually ask him one or two things and advise him according to law. Much in that he has pleaded guilty. And having pleaded guilty, the next thing is sentencing. You don't have any other option. It is different when you plead not guilty. When you plead not guilty, the judge enters not guilty and asks the prosecution to show that you are guilty. That is the law. The law cannot change. But when you now come before the judge and say, you are guilty, I don't think it calls for morality or any begging or whatever. There is nothing to suggest anymore. The judge also enters that accordingly and sentence. The judge is there to do that job. It doesn't persuade you to say you are guilty. It doesn't persuade you to say you are not guilty. You know your conscience, just you and your conscience, you know whether you did it or not. If you did it, you say you did it, he will sentence you accordingly. If you say he did not do it, he will say, okay, you that have said he did this thing, come and tell me that he did it. If you convince me, I will still sentence him. And if you don't convince me, whether you saw him doing it or not, but then I say you did not convince the judge, that is your own. The judge will not convict. But you must convince the court that with cogent evidence that the person actually committed the offense. So it's different, two different things. Now, I want to say that one of the reasons some persons actually may choose to plead guilty is maybe when they don't have the financial muscle to actually go through the tussle of litigations and justice and criminal proceeding. That's one. Two, looking at maybe if they may not be able to procure the bail condition or the bail terms, if they cannot be able to satisfy it, the period of time they will stay in the prison or in the prisons without their time. Some restrictions, of course, So that is the position. But what is right here is that he said he's guilty and the judge did the right thing. So the judge have no question. Assuming he says he's not guilty, the judge will also enter and ask the prosecution to come and show that he's guilty.
Now, with him pleading guilty, does it reduce its punishment? Him saying, okay, admitting that this is what he did, does it really in any way have a significant reduction in the punishment they're going to meet on him?
For him, it can weigh in the mind of the judge.
Okay.
Yes, it can weigh.
The judge will now use his prerogative.
He can weigh. He can weigh in the mind of the judge, and they can also be plea of allocutor and all those things. So it can weigh in the mind of the judge. It can weigh in the mind of the judge, and he can sentence him the way he actually may have wished.
Okay, so if he said if he had pleaded not guilty,
yes,
and the video was there, would he still be sentenced?
If
Or they will prove it because it is not the duty of the prosecuting counsel, right?
Yes.
To now prove it beyond reasonable doubt that he was guilty, right?
Yes. Now,
so, but the punishment, would they be the same?
Now, The punishment, before you talk about punishment, you know, you raised an issue.
Yes.
If he did not, as me, he say he's not guilty.
Okay, yes.
Good. If he says he's not guilty, all he has succeeded in doing is he has passed the ball to the prosecution to come and tell the court that he's guilty. So he's just passed the ball to the prosecution. So it's the duty of the prosecutor to play the ball and score the goal. Because the judge is not biased. The judge will still expect, even though it doesn't matter, even assuming the judge even though the judge had watched the video clip himself, it will not even affect the mind of the judge. The prosecution must do his job accordingly, tender those videos according to law, and at the end of the day, convince the court beyond reasonable doubt that he actually did the offense. Then he will not be sentenced in line with the provisions of the available law. It's as simple as that. There is no game saying in it.
In other words, he made the work of the judge, the prosecuting counsel. He just made
he just gave the kick to it. So
I see. I see.
Yes.
So they don't really have to go
or through that also again. No.
But remember, before he was really sentenced, there were charges on him bordering on money laundering and money laundering. But they discarded that one and not saying that if they found him committing other offenses, that they should prosecute him based on those offenses he committed, because we have seen several times politicians, everyone is involved. If you go to wedding ceremonies, if you go to traditional weddings involving politicians, where they buy naira, they'll buy this mint and be spraying on people. So why is his own different?
Well,
if I may ask.
Well, what you should know is that the fact that Mr. A
did something,
has gone to steal, and he was not charged to court, does not mean that if Mr. B steals and unfortunately he was caught or something led to his arrest, that he will not be charged to court and that the law will not take his course. The law will not say, what about Mr. who stole the other day? No, it doesn't operate that way. It's a different thing entirely. That same politician, if anything happens and he is brought to court, the judge will do the same thing. If by any reason.
So why, my question remains, why have they not been able to apprehend these politicians that spread money in functions, wedding ceremonies, traditional weddings? So that means people shouldn't spend money on traditional weddings. They're using Bobrisky as an example.
I want to respond to that of the politician. Why have they not?
Yes.
Can I respond?
Yes, please tell me. Good. I need to know.
It is because
we need to know.
Yes, it's a why. It is because nobody has taken it up to prosecute them, to cause their arrest for such unlawful act. Simple. If they do, the law will still take its course.
Now this has happened. Do you think it's going to serve as a deterrent?
I think it will go a long way. In as much as the public, sometimes they learn from others, and they learn from what has happened to others. I think it will also go a long way.
I'm looking at it this way. Could it be because Bobrisky is a social media influencer and lets him not use it to influence other people, but he has pleaded that he wants to use a platform to help other people to realize that abuse of Naira could really land them to jail.
It will be a caution to those who want to abuse our Naira. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter who is used, for example.
No, because it's a social media and he has 5 million of followers. You know, he's a cross-dresser now.
Yes,
and you know what Bobrisky stands in Nigeria.
So,
well, let's look at popular Nigerian comedian Ayo Makun, popularly known as EY, and his wife Mabo have separated after 20 years of friendship and marriage. The comedian confirmed the development in a post on his Instagram page on Sunday. He said he had reached a stage where he could no longer entertain the public with deep personal family issues. He wrote, "Many people believe that staying silent simply means that one is incapable of dealing with issues. projecting a negative narrative against someone who is not struggling to defend himself doesn't mean he is weak. Some of us are just logical enough to understand the difference between opinions, values, beliefs, and facts. The personality and ability that I possess simply confirm that I have reached a stage, in that stage of my life, where I cannot be entertaining the public with deep personal family issues. They just might be too much to handle concerning individuals involved, not even when I have a grown-up daughter who has access to social media. Her mental health needs to be protected from seeing things she cannot be proud of online. Yes, I said, without compromising my family, I have found myself doing some things that I am not proud of today. It is one thing to watch my friendship, my marriage of 20 years slip off my hands, but it's another thing for the parties involved to understand how to appropriate the blame in a space that is designed for most women to always play the victims and win. I can tell you for free that no one is completely innocent enough to cast stones. Presently, I am loving the way that lies about me in all these blogs are traveling faster than the truth. But my painful truth will eventually beat away all the lies. Also, in a post on her Instagram page, and Sunday Marble, the wife, said she has stopped reacting to disrespect. She wrote, and I quote, "This stance is my new response to disrespect. I don't react, I don't argue, I don't dive into the drama. I just remove myself." Ayo and Marble got married in November 2008, and they are blessed with 2 children. Are you saying this? Beautiful couples?
Yes.
Did you say those beautiful couples?
I
Wow.
do.
Just after 20 years of relationship, after 20 years of spending their one together, they came up to the public and say they have gone their separate ways. Remember, this is ATN Saturday, so we talk about a lot of issues now.
Yeah.
We are going into the entertainment world.
Okay.
Now, the entertainment world has it that this comedian and his wife, Marble, they have gone on their separate ways.
Yes.
They've separated, and, there's a problem. And can we say it's because they are in the entertainment world, they are celebrities, that is why their marriage did not last? Or are we going to, what can you say about these beautiful couples? Because sometimes I just believe that duration matters, because during this period, they've not come up to say this is what it, 2008, is it over 20 years? Okay, friendship and relationship, they added it
Yes,
together.
which means
Because I know 2008
they were friends for a long
15
time.
years. Yeah, maybe 5 years of friendship, and they came up to tell the world that they've gone up their separate ways without hearing from. But I think duration matters in a marriage, in a relationship. That it will be very hard and difficult for you to dissolve a relationship that has lasted for over 20 years, up to 20 years. Because at that time, you must have built a lot of, build values together, your goals together. You must have lent me, I've lent you, and all of that. What can you say about this there?
All I can say is that they may still come back tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, there's every likelihood that they may.
It is possible.
Okay.
It is possible. The separation may be as a result, may have been aggravated with a particular prevailing situation that they could not handle at that extant time. And that being the case, they may also not have involved those who actually would have helped them handle the situation. They may have also relied on kind of self-help, trying to do it by themselves, and when they could not handle it, it now resulted into separation. But what we cannot actually tell, but could be foreseeable, is that they may still come back. So it might not be.
So what do you think could really
inspire that? What could inspire that is a long time individual differences that was not brought in camera. It is what both parties were actually managing themselves, but in the eyes of the people, if all were very well. But between them, they know that there are things they are struggling with. The day they actually announced the separation is not the day the war started. It is as a result of long time internal battle between them in their family that actually gave birth to the separation. But it marvels people that it's a period of 20 years. In some cases, it could be more. I'll give you a scenario.
Okay.
A man of about 65, 70 years, and a wife of about 60 years came to court to divorce. So this one, you see that you see the difference. So this one is even
After
too young.
being married for a
So
long
they are
period.
old. They are quite old. So and so they.
So how was the matter handled? They
No,
came
no,
to
no,
divorce.
they came. Two of them just agreed at old age. So what I'm trying to paint is that it does not respect the duration of time. Oftentimes, it is when an issue come up and you could not handle it, and you didn't also involve maybe those who can actually assist you in handling it, that your pastor, those who can influence your life, either on the side of the female or on the side of the male partner. Now it culminates into separation. But mind you, separation is not divorce.
Okay.
Yes. So that is why I am saying that
They can still come back
stay
together.
here tomorrow, and maybe we'll still discuss it here that they have come back. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, in the case of the divorce, is it possible that you also unite together? Have you ever seen that? Is a rare circumstance anyway, whereby couples who divorce come back together. Have you ever seen that happen?
It does happen now.
It has happened?
It does happen. They can divorce, and after a very long while, they decide to get married again. No, there is no law that says they cannot get married again. There is no law.
So they can't just come back and start living together. They'll still have to get married again.
The marriage was divorced now. So in the eyes of the law and the people, even biblically, divorce ends the marriage. So that is the position. But in times of separation, these are just at the primary stage. It is after separation that if after a long while they could not come back, then they start talking about the procedure for divorce and all that. But merely separation, tomorrow you may hear that they've come back and the social media will be hot again.
Maybe because they are celebrities.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yes,
thank you.
Yes, I would want them. Seeing them, they are beautiful couples.
Yes.
Okay. That goes on to tell us, and as a matter of fact, he was so concerned about his daughter. Yeah, his daughter is quite maybe a teenager anyway. It said she has social media handles, so it's going to affect her. But not just only that, but I'm trying to look at it this way. This is a separation. This is an issue in a marriage. You know, it can happen to just anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone. So I know a lot of people reactions on the social media, blaming them. Even a wife admitted that he has done something that he was not proud of. And of course, in a marriage, in a friendship like that, in a relationship like that, you must have done something you were not proud of as a man, because I think it's mainly it comes from the man.
Yes. Yes.
Now, so this can happen to just anyone, not just because they are celebrities.
No.
Yeah, having lived for a long time, there could be things that could be very unbearable.
Yes.
To you as a person, and you now said, okay, let me call it a quit. But don't you think it's foolishness? Because when you separate, yes, even when you separate for like 2-3 years, you can even sue for divorce. And then when you divorce, you still want to get married to another person. Are you not still going to see the same trait of character in that same person? We're just trying to look at it now in so many angles. We are almost done. That's the last one you're going
Well,
to say.
the truth is that it is not even compulsory that a man must marry. It is not also compulsory that a woman must marry. Even in heaven, there is no even marriage. So I think that if, like in their own case, I think that if for a long while, they could also choose to be alone for life. Nobody, so there is no sacrosanct that the person must actually go after other. No, it's not sacrosanct. They may
No, I
choose
think
to.
this is in the minority. What you're just saying, you're not Apostle Paul, they said, because Paul wasn't known. And I think he's in the minority that will say, you can go alone. He's a man. What about emotional trauma? What about as a man, you're facing difficulties and all of that? And is it for you to now be wayward and be sleeping with Dick and Harry, having intimacy with just anyone like that? That will mar your reputation. It will mar your integrity, what you stand for. So, to come together, it's better for them to resolve whatever.
Yes,
issues
and I
together.
think
because even AY, if AY decides to marry another person, he may even prefer the wife to the new wife.
Because the person may not like his lifestyle.
The person may not as in be his lifestyle. Then what about the woman as well? Nobody knows about the woman's trait of character.
Of course.
And
whether there is any man somewhere beckoning him.
They've not told us. They've not really come out clean and say this is actually why we are going on our separate.
Yeah, they will actually unfold.
It could be because of promiscuity. Either from the man, let's just say infidelity. Yes,
from
infidelity.
any other side of the party,
yes.
or any habit or character they could not accommodate among themselves.
The Bible says that's the only ground for divorce.
Yes.
Or when your life is being threatened.
Yes.
Maybe you're being battered, your life is threatened.
Through any means at all. Once it has to do with life threatening, you understand, oftentimes you can stay separate, but along the time, by the grace of God, if things are put together, often most cases, they do come back. In most cases, separations do, in most cases, yes, in most cases. Okay,
all right.
All right, thank you very much.
Generally, what's your advice to people, those who are trying to get married? The young ones,
That's
the
a good
young
one.
stars.
That's a good one.
Yes, the young stars.
That's
those
a good
who
one.
want to get married. I don't know if you're of the opinion that that people should get married. What's your advice?
No, people should get married. But if you don't want to get married, there is no law that says you must get married. However, I say my advice is that on both parties, if you want to get married, make sure that love is the plank, or what we call the foundation, because it's only love that can tolerate everything, admit all things, and take all things. The love for both parties. The love must not be one-sided, because if it is one-sided, if one person is holding the marriage, at a point the attitude of the other person might be dissolving all the passions and love. But where both parties are interested, so first of all, you must ensure that both of you are interested in pursuing a cause. And what is that cause? That cause is living together for life. Both parties must be interested. If a party is disinterested, or even after the marriage, that party is now putting up an attitude that is no longer interested, maybe it doesn't matter how long, they will still be having issues. So our advice to the general public is that before you get married, ensure that both parties, you love each other. Don't go into marriage because of material things, and don't go into marriage because you think you soon go above the age or marriable age. These are things that weighs in the mind of both the male and the female, because some men, there is an age you get to, the man will feel, if I don't get married, all my mates have gotten married. People think that the pressure is on the women alone, particularly with respect to age. The answer is no. There is a time in the life of a man, he will have serious pressure. And in that time, his problem becomes to get a woman to settle down with. So the pressure is not only on, there's an age a man will attain. He will be so pressurized. So don't allow that pressure to actually make you dive into maybe a woman you don't have love for. Now, on the side of the woman, don't also allow that pressure to actually allow you to dive into a man you cannot love, you cannot respect, you cannot submit to. Once you see your partner as somebody you cannot submit to, the Bible cannot be broken. It doesn't matter how small is a man and how big is a woman. If the woman cannot submit to the man will only be living in endurance, and which is not good for any marriage. And also, when a man also cannot also love the wife and maybe listen to the wife, take the advice of the wife for one reason or the other, it also gives an issue. So the bedrock in marriage is acceptance and not conditioned.
Okay. Okay. Now, I think I quite agree with you. At the same time, understanding matters. Love is not just enough. Love is not just enough.
Yes.
But understanding matters. Like you said, mutual respect is also matters.
Yes.
If a woman marries someone who she cannot respect just because age is running out of you, there's no longer time. My friends, they are all married and I'm not married, and because you just saw a playboy came around you and then you want to, now you can consummate your marriage, it's going to break
and
tomorrow.
later you start showing attitude. No, that is a very wrong one.
Same aspirations, you know, because if you cannot respect your spouse, definitely you're not going to enjoy that marriage. Because marriage is adjusting, trying to have two persons coming together. We're all imperfect humans. None of us is perfect.
Yes.
Now you're looking for a perfect, but there are people who are enjoying their marriage.
Very well.
Yes, I can tell you for free. There are
I
persons
agree.
who are enjoying their marriage. You know, before I lost my husband, I enjoyed my marriage. It was like, you know, mutual understanding, right? Yes. There was this love. You're treated like a queen, and the wife, you treat your husband like a king. You know, you treat the husband like a king. Yes, and I can tell you that a man who has a submissive wife, if you have a submissive wife, like, oh, okay, let me just say, a woman who is submissive to the husband, definitely you'll be treated like a queen. You'll be treated like a princess on earth. And
because men are too cheap to the women.
No, not really, but this is, the Bible says that men, women are created out of a man's seed.
Yes.
So we women, we need to, let me just say, other than God, we need to worship our husbands. If you choose to marry the man, because this is the only thing that could make you, because a woman holds her home, no matter what. You have a lot of people who drinks. You have a lot of who fornicate, who commit adultery, infidelity. But if you're a woman who can submit, if you're a woman who can treat your husband with respect and dignity, I bet you that marriage will last, other than death that will put the both of you asunder, or other than a spiritual projections, whatsoever that will put the marriage asunder, you know. But you will enjoy a perfect marriage. Like even my parents, when they were alive, we've never even seen them quarrel before. They were, yes, now, when my dad was alive, when my mother was alive, they set the example of what marriage is all about. You know, you cannot see them quarrel, but they tell us, my mother will say they quarrel at the bedroom. But they will come out and settle their differences.
You
know why? Yes, now. And every time I will be like, this woman, you're too submissive. What kind of life is this now? Is it because you're married to a royal family? Is it because of this and all of that? You know?
Yes.
So, because of that, but we look at it and say, okay, this is what you should do. So I believe if everyone puts it up together, I know if you enjoy your marriage is going to be like heaven and earth. And for you women, please try and start respecting your husband, build up your home. Whatsoever the differences, you put it together. You know, peace is better than drama. And then for the young girls who are aspiring to go into marriage, pray. Make it a matter of concern to pray to God. Ask the Heavenly Father to give you who your own husband is. Because if you marry another person's husband, definitely you're going to break up. But that's what we have for today on Atn Saturday.
Thank you very much.
So you can stay connected on Atn Socials, you can like our page on Twitter, on Atlantic TV Net, on Facebook and on YouTube, on Atlantic Television Network, and on Instagram and on TikTok. We have Atlantic TV Network 1. You can also watch us live on StarTimes on channel 194. We have a website, atlanticnetwork.tv, and our app on YouTube and on Facebook, Atlantic Television Network. Atn Saturday, we provide the right narrative in news narration, just like we did. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. At this point, I want to really thank you immensely for coming. GUJ, Ohale, you've been a legal practitioner. Thank you. This is your first appearance. I just want to commend you so much for coming. Thank you so very much. We're going to do this same time. Yeah, anytime, because ATN Saturday is always every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. Thank you. My name is Angel Mukoma. Angelic Angel is my name as well.
Every day, our lives are changed by history,
We are one people, all of us.
leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a